Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by creature actor Kevin Keppy. Very cool to have you here.
Cool. Thank you, Neal. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So first of all, I have to tell you, Smile is amazing. I'm a big fan of Smile. And it was very creepy. I think it worked on many levels. It was creepy, had effective jump scares, and also had very interesting themes. So I thought it was it wasn't just like a cool jump scare movie. So first of all, like, how did you get involved in Smile?
Well, it was just a really cool thing how it happens here, like in LA. I just got an email from the casting director from Paramount. She contacted me, asked me if I had a chance to talk with the director about a film in an hour and a half from that time. So as you need to jump on those emails when they come in or any kind of contacts. And I wrote her back instantly and said, yeah, I'm available. I just got off my part-time job at that time, thankfully. Went straight home, turned on my Zoom like we're doing here, and then had an audition with her and Parker. In my house right here that, we can see on the video.
That's where all the magic happened. Yeah,
I know. Right. So yeah, they had me just kind of act out a couple different roles at the end of the movie. And yeah, that's how that happened. And the nice thing about Zoom, how that technology works is that they recorded it and saved it and showed it to their producers and other people that needed to see it. And I guess they signed off on it and it was off to the races. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. A couple of things there. So did you, which roles did you try out for at that time and audition for?
It was really just the two at the end. I'm trying not to spoil anything necessarily for anybody that hasn't seen it.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, just really the two or really the one at the end, but it is split up into two different characters essentially. And one was played by me and then the other one was played by Marty Matulis, who is
former guest also on the show. Yeah.
Oh, really? No kidding. Marty was on here. Excellent. Yeah. Yep. So I just did movement and voice for both of those roles, essentially.
Yeah. Sure. And another thing, more just about acting, not necessarily Smile. The rise of Zoom and doing the virtual auditions. Is that better or worse for you as an actor?
Well, I haven't done it as much as probably a lot of other actors have, since a lot of the work that I do is through my contacts and people who I know, different shops and people reaching out to me. So I haven't done as much on Zoom, auditions through Zoom as probably a lot of other actors, as I said. But it is nice to do it at your home, prepare for it. Of course, you have to have all the materials ready for it. You have to have the screen, the right lighting, the right camera. And I think as soon as you can get that base down, that established, and you get a feel of how it works, then I think it just becomes really slick and easy and pretty painless. And I think especially being here in LA, just driving anywhere is always taxing, especially during rush hour times of the day that happen like all day. So that is definitely advantageous for that. But the downside of that is that you don't get the immediate feedback from the casting director, or if they want to see something different, you're in an audition, you're right there with them. You're working with them. They're seeing you, also your energy, your personality. And so that is a downside I see with like Zoom or like recorded auditions, is that, it's just, you're a digital file and they can pass on you, they can delete you, so yeah, so there's perks and there's other things that happen with that. So
at that, well, after they call you back and they say like, you're going to be in the movie, do you get a whole script of the film, or are you still at that point only know like your scene at the ending?
Kind of depends. How was it with Smile? I think they initially with that, they just brought me in. Yeah, that's right. They brought me in, and also Marty too, into the shop. We're working with Amalgamated Dynamics Incorporated, ADI, who's done, they're no longer anymore as a working company, I believe, but they've done all the Aliens movies and Predator and stuff like that. Maybe not all the Aliens, but anyway, so they brought us in. They worked us out. I think one of the guys
involved with them actually played the alien in Alien 3 or Alien 2 or so. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, for sure. So they brought us in, we talked with them, and we also did some movement, recorded movement there in their shop, and they sent it off to the director, Parker, and have them look at it, and just to see, kind of what role Marty would get, what role I would get. And so from there, they kind of pursed down further into that, and eventually we got a script once things were kind of, the dust was settled and they're already casting our hands and different things like that. So, but for the kind of work that I do for creature acting and performance, as well as also probably Marty as well, is that it doesn't work like a normal acting as an actor kind of role. Whenever you get cast, is that you get the role, maybe do a table read, and they give you the script there, and then you start studying the script, and maybe you whatever. So it's a little different for us. Sometimes, like I said, they just bring us right into the shop and start like slapping silicone on us, and and that kind of thing. So,
did you end up knowing anything about Smile when you're actually filming it?
Yes, and so I definitely have the script before we're filming it. Yeah, so after all the process of all the shop stuff, yeah, I had the script, I read it, loved it. So that's the thing is that Parker wrote it. It was a short film he wrote initially, and it was really well received. And so he did. I don't want to put words in his mouth or anything, but from what I've heard, that he just kind of chewed on it for a while and just spent a lot of time on this feature film, and just really perfected it for how he wanted to make it, as well as the script. So he directed it and he wrote it, and so he knew exactly what he was doing. And so the script, when I read it, was it read like that too. So it was very awesome. It was, and when you read a script, you can tell that if you get excited for it, if it's fun, if it's moving, if it's captivating, then that if everything goes well on set, and with the director and everything that is involved in that, it's going to be awesome and amazing. And that's exactly what it turned out to be. And so it's
not just because awesome. You're here. I thought it was one of the best horror movies of the year. We've had a lot of good horror movies over the last couple of years, I think, and stuff that's like I always like. Previously, a lot of the best stuff I would see would only be at at a festival or something, but they're releasing a lot of really good horror films theatrically. Yes, I agree. Yeah, which I'm glad for, and it's horror. Horror is great. Horror is a very difficult genre to write and to make, but it's also cheap. It doesn't take a whole lot of money. It's not like Marvel movies cost a lot of money. Horror doesn't take that much money, but it's hard to make a really good horror movie because it's not just about the jump scares, of course. There's so many different elements. And I remember when I watched Smile, they had a premiere of it in Santa Monica, the West Coast premiere. And when I first saw it, and I talked to Parker afterward, and it was, I guess I read the script. I was there on set. I knew my stuff. I knew it looked really awesome, but there's so many different elements to it. I mean, not only just like all the scary stuff and the story, but like the sound design was just amazing. And all the different elements, that make a good film, is all that. And that's what's very important for horror. It's not just the jump scare. You have to have the story, the sound design, the theme, the acting, the directing, the performance. It's all, the editing is a big deal. And so I think Smile turned out very well in that regard. Yeah, because the best way for me, I always talk about watching a movie is on the big screen. And usually people think of that for the visuals, and that's true. But the sound also is a big part when you're in a theater. Is you're surrounded by the sounds, and that makes the movie that much more effective. Yes, and the audience responds to that very well too. Well, that's another thing about horror. That's the best genre, that or comedy, to watch with people. Schindler's List's a great movie, but you sit around and cry with each other. Maybe not the greatest experience, but Smile, you can react to it. Absolutely, yeah. The funnest times. I remember seeing the Blair Witch Project when it came out in the theaters, and that was fun, that was fun to see in the theater, because the audience reacted in so many different ways, and fun movies like that those are worthwhile, and that's the importance of having a good theater experience, not just on streaming. Streaming is great too, but sure. But yeah, I'm cheap. They're not paying me or anything. I'm going to go see Cocaine Bear tomorrow because I want to check it out in the theater. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I haven't even seen a trailer for it, but the posters look awesome.
Yeah. It's, who knows what it'll be, but I'm looking forward to seeing it in the theater.
Yeah. That's cool.
So before Smile even started to come out, like it started to really get a buzz. I think it was, when they started showing the trailers with like the audience reaction.
Yeah.
So like around that time, did they start to tell you like this is going to get like a longer or a bigger theatrical release than you originally thought?
Yeah. It was really cool to see because I had no idea. We shot that shortly before I think 2 Thanksgivings ago in New Jersey. So they it was less than a year when they brought it to theaters, and I had no idea where it was at that point in time, what they're going to do with it. And of course, that they said it was going to go to streaming Paramount Plus, and of course, it did very well with the theaters, the theater audience, and they said, "Okay, we're going to take this to the theaters." So, I think the marketing. That's another thing too that was very cool. Me driving around like Century City, Beverly Hills, West LA, different areas, like all around LA, is just so fun at that point in time because so many billboards and so many bus stops, like the benches for bus stops had the posters for Smile everywhere, and is always that one poster at one look. And boy, Paramount just did an incredible job, and no doubt they spent a lot of money on the marketing, but boy, was it effective. And of course, the baseball thing, they did such a smart job with it, and I think it really helped to sell the movie and it pushed it forward, and the movie spoke for itself. But boy, I think that's a good example of how teamwork can be for a studio production company in that regard, for everything to excel and vibrate efficiently.
Yeah. And I think there's some really cool, not only like good horror movies, but some ones that are very strange. Like Smile gets very weird at the end. And I like weird stuff, but a lot of that, I don't necessarily expect that from like kind of a mainstream film. So it really worked for me on many levels.
Yeah, I hear you.
But what's the secret to a creepy smile?
Well, it depends. All right, I don't know. Do you do that whenever you wake up in the morning to the person laying next to you, or like the girl you're walking behind in the alley? It's all the different kind of. Is it a smile?
Right.
Depending or is it a smile?
Right. What you're trying to get out of this creepy smile.
Yeah. So it just depends, but yeah, it was fun, and that's always a weird thing. People asked like Parker a lot of times, like, did you cast the actors? Did you audition them for their smiles? Did they have to audition for their, the smiles? And he like, no. So, and that's a fun thing with me is that ADI did some fake dentures for me, some dentures for me to make my smile even bigger. And I have a big mouth and a big smile, a lot of teeth in this face. And so, so they had all these different teeth and stuff like that, and they brought them to set. And so it was up to Parker to choose whether or not to use my teeth with veneers on, or with the dentures that they made. The thing with the dentures is that the line and the different sounds I always had in the movie, I wouldn't be able to say that with these dentures in, because they're just like, it just really stretched my face out. And Parker went with my look, my mouth and stuff like that. And so that was, I think, beneficial because I've used my smile many times in my life. I play the Joker on stage theatrically.
I can see that.
For 5 years. That was a lot of fun and a lot of smiles, and so I've really gotten to harness my creepy smile, and it really paid off. And I let my dentist know before and after we shot that. I said, hey, this smile is going to be big, and it needs. I appreciate you all doing all the work you're doing because it's going to pay off. So,
yeah. Well, how about that? The Joker on stage. What was that for?
So I'm originally from Iowa and Missouri, and so in Missouri, in Springfield, Missouri, we had a production company there called the Class Act Productions, and we did a lot of parody shows, original theatrical shows. We had several different theater spaces we moved into, but we did this Batman parody show. So the original scripts based off the 1960s, Batman TV show.
Yeah.
So the original scripts and so we had our normal team of actors there. I always play the Joker. My friend Josh always played Batman. We had a multiple cast of Robins. They often like gender bended Robins all over all the place. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do, and really well received. And I really missed that. That was a really fun character. We did a lot of. We even did like a spoof on the Batman movie, and like it had the big shark in there, and so like. But it was a lot of fun, and that show wrapped after 5 years.
I'm glad you had a shark, because that's a big part of the old Batman movie with the shark repellent. Which
yeah, exactly.
I'm a big fan of the old Batman series.
Oh yeah, we all were too. So we're just really enjoying it, and the audience really loved it. And Springfield, Missouri, has a really awesome theater community and fan community for everything. And we did Buffy there. We did all seasons of Buffy on stage, like a parody show of Buffy, and that was a lot of fun too. And so, yeah, we had a lot of fun there.
Well, a serious question is, do you ever get offended if someone calls you a creature actor, since you are an actor? Would you prefer just to be called an actor?
Not myself. I call myself, an actor and a creature actor. Sometimes, some people can be offended if they are called a suit performer. So that is,
then you're kind of even taking away the term acting. Yeah,
exactly. Where I can see what a suit performer is that like a suit performer that I've seen is that just a person, it could be a lot of stunt people do it, just get into a suit. Maybe they're a monkey in, I don't know, Planet of the Apes or another creature, an alien or whatever. And they're just like a body doing performance movement and stuff, which is very neat and awesome. But like what I heard, like Derek Mears, who's also an actor and creature actor. And, he said that, I am an actor first and foremost. And, when I get a script, I study the lines, I study the character, the motivations of the character, what the character fears, wants, desires, conflicts, all these different things that go into it, even though, the creature or whatever you're playing character may have a line or some grr and args and roars, but there's a lot more to it. So that's why I kind of differentiate like a suit performer and a creature actor, because a creature actor is an actor that does creature performance, and sometimes in a suit, not always, but so it's all kind of a varied little bit thing.
Derek's great as a Swamp Thing, which I know they're doing a new Swamp Thing movie, so I was kind of hoping he gets in the movie
I know version. Right yeah Derek's awesome
and very funny guy too. He does ad libs.
That's cool.
Yeah, I forget the term of it. There, when you the spontaneous comedy on stage, it's a very.
Oh yeah, okay, improv.
Improv. There we go.
Oh, cool. I didn't know he did improv. I could totally see that. That's cool.
But, yeah. Are you? Is there any what kind of along those lines? Is there any Are you competitive, or maybe not you personally? Is there like competition amongst people up for the same roles?
Well, I think that's a good question, actually. So I think just generally in the acting community, whether it's theater or film or commercials, there's always, low level, high level, whatever level competition for roles, because people they want roles. So in the creature actor world, there's definitely, I'm not in anybody's race except for my own to do what I can do. And I want everybody else to excel and to succeed in their dreams and desires. But so I can't speak for what other people do, but and how they behave. But I know just on my behalf, I just want to do the best I can and lift others when I go along as well. And I've seen that with other people too. Some other creature actors and actors that I know that, they've sent me some stuff or said, hey, I can't do this, or maybe contact this guy, or have you heard about this going on? And so that's just really awesome. I'm all about community myself, and sharing and lifting and growing. And that's just, I think, a more proper way to go about things than just stepping on people's heads. But
Yeah.
again, I can only say that for myself anyways.
Yeah. When I mentioned you were coming on, my friend Troy James was very happy,
yeah.
and he said When Worlds
Great.
Collide, and he said he met you at I think it was Monster Palooza, I think.
Yes. Yeah. When I first came to LA in early 2019, that's when I met Troy there. Monster Palooza. Monster Palooza was there, and I've seen him a couple other times, other conventions. Yeah, he's awesome, and he does such great work, and
so it's super cool. Nice guy.
Glad you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah.
So, how did you come about doing this for the first time, playing a creature?
Well, let me tell you, it started out when I was a young boy in Iowa, thinking of the dream of becoming a Hollywood actor. But yes, I am from Iowa, but I didn't start acting until my late 20s. And so I started just taking acting classes for adults at Springfield Little Theater in Springfield, Missouri. The hardest thing I had ever done in my life was taking that first class and being criticized for what I was saying, how I was looking, what I was doing, because I've always been an introvert my whole life, very, very shy. And that's why I knew I needed to go into acting, because I needed to be able to express myself and speak better to people, and to not be shy, and because it was dangerous for my growth and future. So so the first play I did, I took several classes there. It was a really awesome time. And the first play I did was Dracula with my friend Nathan Shelton, who directed it. So we did that, and was it 2008 or 2009? And it was a formulative show. It was a theater. It was an October show, and it was an amazing old theater in downtown Springfield. And I auditioned for Seward, and it was completely, it was out of my league, that role at that time. And I'm so glad I didn't get it, because I was sweating bullets. I was hoping I didn't get it. But my friend Nathan, he said that he's like, you didn't get the role, but we have some roles for vampires in the show if you would like to join us. And I'm like, yes, that is my bang. So I got in there, and I went to rehearsal every day, even when I wasn't needed. And so did some vampires. I played the sea captain, the dead sea captain, played Dracula's assistant. So I think 3 different characters in that show, and it just lit my trigger. And I got the theater bug, the acting bug with that, just knowing exactly to express myself in that regard, because I've always really enjoyed monsters, creatures. I remember seeing, Creature from the Black Lagoon when I was 2 or 3 on black and white TV, and monsters whenever I was that same age too. So I've always had a thing for monsters and creatures and things like that, and my whole life. And this was finally a way for me to express my joy and love of it. And I got to see that in that theater, and every night was sold out for that show. Lines around the theater, and sold out performances, and people just dug it. They responded very well. It was highly successful, and it was a wonderful time. And so from there, I did more things with Nathan. We did like an Evil Dead musical, and Night of the Living Dead live on stage. It was a lot of fun. I played Johnny in that, and another zombie. And so and did a lot of movies at that time as well. My first movie was called Redneck Carnage with my friend John Osenovich. And so that came out in 2008 or 2009. And so it was just bam, 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 bam after that. And just, of course, is meeting really cool people, as you no doubt know, that the horror community is like are just really cool guys,
and from
cool girls, cool people. Yeah,
and all different. People might think all horror fans are tattooed guys with big beards and black shirts, but there's all different types of people, and everyone is very accepting.
Yes, absolutely, and passionate and fun, easy to talk to. Probably have maybe a little bit shy in other ways, but can have like a lot of fun, express themselves and geeky kind of ways that So I love it. Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah. Are any of those the horror theme musicals on YouTube or anything? I'd like to
Yeah, right. I don't know if that is. Yeah, I have a copy of that Dracula on DVD, but Evil Dead, I'm not sure. I think I have a copy of that on DVD, but I'm not sure if it's on YouTube actually. So because I know during the time, like those theater companies weren't able to post anything out there for other people to see for contractual reasons and whatever. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to see about that if there was anything leaked on there or not.
A few years ago for Halloween, it was a small production of Silence, a musical in Boston I went to, and it was a Silence of the Lambs musical. And it was one of the most fun times I've been. They sang it like, like it was very serious and it was very silly, which really added to the comedy for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Which seems like what Evil Dead the musical is too.
All
and
right,
that is a script that anybody, I forgot if it's a Samuel French or who puts it out, maybe Dramatis. But anybody can do that, put that show on, stage it, and I think nationally. But we did in Springfield. Another guy did in Kansas City at the time, and it's a real fun script. It's over the top, really good numbers. What's the name? All my friends are Kandorian like demons or something like that. It's fun. Yeah, it's a fun show.
The first live play I ever went to was Little Shop of Horrors musical, and it was
cool.
When I was like 16. I'm trying to remember who Mr. Mushnick was. Oh, Dom DeLuise was Mr. Mushnick, which was very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
that's a good show.
How different from going from stage acting to doing a movie? Because I guess from what I understand, stage acting you have to play to the back of the room. You want it big, and then for a movie it's more close up.
Yeah, indeed. It's the same, but it's also different too whenever you're doing like performance stuff, like for monsters or bringing things in, because a lot of times
I guess that would be that over the top, maybe.
Yeah, it depends. Like, because usually on stage, of course, you want to be big, you want to be bold, and you want to be really articulate with your mouth. Not even saying lines, but in film, it also depends on the shot. If the shot's a wide shot, or if it's a close up or a medium, whatever. You just have to be very mindful. But the theater, I think, as soon as you are trained and like what you need to do all the time, that's what you need to do. You play for, as I said, kind of the back of the room. You be big, bold, move. But for film, of course, is very close. And you have to be very mindful about where the camera's at, what the shot is, what they're looking for, how fast you want to go, and also sound too. Are they running sound? Are they running lines only? Do you need not to have any sound effects? So there's a lot more intricacies of filmmaking than theater. So in theater, it's more liberating as an art form, as a performer, because you just get to be and do on opening night anyways. So, but film, they're all very amazing art mediums to me. So
how much of Smile was for your part was enhanced by CG, or was it all practical for you?
It was all practical except for whenever I caught on fire. So the only thing they did for that is that there was a real guy that caught on fire, that he lit himself up. Of course, there had it going on. So I worked with him over the choreography of my and our movement. So I did my movement first, hitting the wall, hitting the chair. So he told me, okay, I'm going to hit the wall with my arm, and it has like accelerant on it. And I think the wall had accelerant on it. So he's going to hit the wall, he's going to hit the chair, and then he's going to hit the ground and crawl. And so we had to mirror each other perfectly with our choreography. So I had that down. I did several takes of that. Then he did that with him. Either he did it in one take or two. I don't remember. Definitely no more than two. And the final movie where you get to see is both of us blended together, as well as also a CGI version of me, kind of like of the body, kind of like, eroding and falling apart. So that's the only CGI I think that they did for me was that, because they needed something, falling apart.
Yeah.
burning alive.
So, when did you first see the finished movie Smile? Did you see it with an audience for the first time?
Yeah, it was there in Santa Monica at the Arrow Theater. That's where was it part of Beyond Fest? I think was that correct? I think it might be correct. But yeah, so that was definitely there. America's Cinematheque. Yeah, Beyond Fest I think was in Austin, but yes, it was there early September, I believe. So that was the first West Coast premiere. It premiered in I believe in Austin before that. So it was there, and it was awesome. It was a good time. The audience had a great response, and they had a talk back afterward with Parker, and yeah, it was very well received. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was awesome.
Did you ever go to like festivals before that, just like to watch movies or?
Totally. I have, and actually, my friend Nathan Shelton, we produced a web series called Shadowbound. It's essentially a 90-minute movie. It's a 1920s black and white Lovecraftian horror show. It's on YouTube. Yeah. I think you dig it. We did a festival circuit for that. It's been almost 10 years now for that since we released that. And so, yeah, I've been to many different festivals for like web festivals, and just we had a lot of nominations for that, and some wins as well. And so I definitely had that experience with that. And also my experience with their horror candidates that they had at those festivals, and where they were at for what kind of horror they're doing, and also who won. Like we were nominated for a lot of things, but we didn't win some awards. I think like Miami, we're up for 5 or 7 nominations, and I don't think we won any there. So it kind of told me that either our production sucked, but I think that the audience or the people that were giving away the awards or whatever just may not fully realize what the horror genre is, or a horror movie does.
So it wasn't like a specifically horror festival.
Correct. Yeah, it was a general broad film festival that had a horror category and stuff like that. And so, but it's interesting how some people just really understand horror and some people do not. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that was one of the main things I missed during the pandemic was festivals, because I'm a big fan of going to, and I like either what they call underground festivals or horror festivals. And what's also fun is you usually don't know too much about the movie when you go in, which is hard to normally do at a theater. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I know that LA has some good stuff, and I've only been here for a little over 4 years now, and then the pandemic, took away a year or two for like theaters and things. So I definitely want to get back into checking out like different festivals that happen here as well as also around. So yeah.
Where was the YouTube to find the series? Because I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, it's you can type up Shadowbound web series. That's going to be the name. I don't remember offhand what the actual.
If people listen, they'll put that in, and I'll put the link on the.
Okay, great.
The description here. But yeah, I'll
appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I played several different creatures in it. My friend Nathan wrote it. He's inspired. He's a big H.P. Lovecraft fan, of course, and we shot that all in Springfield and had a great time. We did 5 episodes, and we eventually turned it into a feature film. And we didn't release it. We premiered it, but we didn't release it more nationally because we still want to go back and put in some new some pickup shots and redo the opening credits and things like that. So that's kind of been holding us back to releasing it more as a feature, but in a new score. But the guy that scored the movie is Brian Arata, and he's here in LA. He did music, or he composed like the Family Guy score and lots of different things. And so it's all original score, and it's title cards. It's silent black and white. So it's a lot of fun. So I recommend everybody to check it out. And
it sounds really cool. Not just here either. I think it sounds really cool. Yeah. And and now with so many streaming sites, like it's more likely to get stuff out there, for people to check out.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's nice. This is a really cool time time of our lives where we can just post stuff out there and share it, and for free, or or post or share with friends on social media. And so this is versus like 20 years ago or whatever is a lot more challenging in that regard. So.
Yeah, especially for like a short film or something. Usually maybe it would have a festival run and then it would just disappear because there's really nothing else to do with it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, indeed.
So Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah.
So this is amazing. I'm a big fan. Got all kinds of cool monsters. And
cool.
So how did you get involved in Cabinet of Curiosities? Was this also Zoom?
It was not, actually.
All right.
It was it was through a Spectral Motion contacted me about a role available for that, and to see if I was close to my size, how close I was in size to Doug Jones, because they needed to have this character to fit about the size of Doug Jones, as his body is, or his height and all that kind of stuff. And so I went in and talked with them, and they checked me out. And so that's where the ball started rolling with that. And it was a great opportunity, and those guys are awesome. I love Spectral Motion and everybody that's there. Try to visit as much as I can, actually, because they're awesome. And so we just started off there, and they got me into that one. And the character for the episode called The Viewing, I believe it's episode 7 that Panos Cosmatos directed. He was also a writer on it too. I think there was a couple of writers on it. But that was a fun role, and it was a big creature suit, articulate hands, fingers that moved, and we shot all Cabinet up in Toronto, and it was a great time and with good people. And I did 2 episodes on that show, which is really awesome.
Yeah, the Blob Man looks very cool as well.
Yeah, they did such a good job on it. Yeah,
when you see yourself, fully in the costume. For that specifically, what goes through your mind?
Like when I see myself, like after the fact, or actually in it?
In it, so you're actually wearing it, and you see yourself in the mirror. If you could see through, I don't know, maybe you're blind in that.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't see myself really. We didn't have we had a mirror in the makeup trailer, but we didn't have my mask on at the time. Actually, sometimes I would have the mask on. It was just hard to see, actually. Yeah, so essentially, they had these eyeballs in this mask, and they just had drilled out like where the pupil is. And so I had very small tunnel vision. It was like looking down a tunnel, and it was very bizarre. And so I couldn't see very well. So I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a running theme usually when I interview anyone that's been a monster of some sort. And it seems like it's always been that way. Nicholas Vince in the original Hellraiser couldn't see as a Chatterer, and Jason
really?
Miles, who played the new Chatterer, also couldn't see. So,
oh wow, okay, yeah. With that character, there was they had a really cool like silicone jelly thing that went over top of the mask that zipped up in the back, and this jelly silicone thing they put on top, and it made the weirdest sounds inside, because like not only am I wearing this thick foam latex mask on, but this jelly thing like reverberated the sounds, and foamed latex like sound different. It's more of a bass, and it kind of reverberates a little bit. But with this little jelly thing they put on, it was just like a blub 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 blub, and it was the weirdest sound. Putting it on is very, it was very strange. You have to not like worry about what's going on, because it's kind of it's so alien like. Yeah. For your senses and stuff, and then they gooped it up with all this not super slime, but I forget what they called it, but and sometimes it got my eye holes, and so I couldn't see very well because all this goop was inside the eye holes, and yeah, it was fun. I think initially they didn't have eye holes in there, and or even like initially a mouth hole, but they said Kevin needs to breathe. So they they took the mouth out, and then on set, I think they put a little bit of eye holes for me, and they're like, okay, visual effects will take care of it afterwards. So, but I think they just left it. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know if you want to answer this or what, but what do you have to do if you're in a suit like that and you have to use the restroom?
it depends how the suit is made and what kind of restroom
If
you
it's
need to
number
use.
1 or 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And also, if you do something, do you want to clean it afterward, or who's going to clean it? So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the suits that I've seen have, for men, anyways, have like a zipper or a flap in the front. I think that one did. I can't remember. Yeah, it did. And but it's also not very easy to get there. But but yeah, so you just have to be I don't know. You have to be very careful with what you're doing, and it just depends how it's all made. And I've been in some costumes and stuff like that where it's like a onesie or whatever, and there's no way to access anything. So you just have to ask the costumer nicely if they can make something like a hole for you or something. So yeah.
Have you ever been freaked out wearing anything, or is it something that you get used to? Okay.
Yes, I totally did. Actually, my first suit I wore was and I've worn prosthetics and makeup for many years, and I did this one short film, wearing this really tight. I forgot the material, but it's essentially just a creature suit, latex. And it wasn't made to my body, so it was a little tight in ways. It was really tight in my throat. It was really tight in different areas. It was laced up in the back. My friend Mike Strain made the suit, and he did a really good job with it. But it was especially for my first time being completely entrapped in it. I went into the back. It was all one piece. So a lot of suits will have like removable hands or arms or feet. And maybe like a mask or whatever, but this thing was all one thing that you just put on. It's essentially like a onesie or like a morph suit, essentially. And anyways, he had some little holes, just a little bit here for me to be able to breathe, because this was a faceless creature. And and it got to me because for that scene, we shot down this basement in Missouri. It was February and it was very, very cold. And I was in the corner. It was really dark. And those things just get very cold because there's no insulation at all. So it's getting cold, and I had this sheet over on top of me. I couldn't really breathe very well. And it just seemed like things were taking longer. And you just start thinking. You start thinking because nothing else is going on. And then I started kind of just getting a little frustrated, or because I was cold, or I didn't know what's going on. And I started thinking that the question came to me that said, if I want out of this thing, I cannot get out. And then as soon as that question came to my head, that's when some panic started happening. And I have never experienced that before. And I said, okay, I can't get out of this thing. And I don't know where we're at. I don't know where Mike's at. I don't know what's going on. And of course, the more I'm bringing this anxiety up, the more I'm breathing heavier, which is creating more problems for me able to breathe in the little holes that are there. And so then it was a bad deal, but Mike was right there off to the side, and he was able to help me out and just said, hey, just talk with me, what's going on. And so he was an awesome guy, and I really, really appreciate him for being there. So awesome for him. But that was an interesting experience my behalf, because like I said, as much like gelatin, latex, foam latex, silicone prosthetics I put on, and different costume things. And, I've never had that kind of experience before. And it hit me for the first time, and let me know that's a real thing, that's a real thing. And especially for being the Blob Man suit, that was a really big, heavy one, especially we shot some days where it was hot outside. That was really, really hot. And you can't allow your mind to go negative, because once your mind starts going negative, it's really, really hard to pull out, because you start spiraling down really quickly, and you have to really watch it. So it's always be good to stay positive, have fun. If something isn't going right, then just whatever, I'm here, I'm enjoying it. And it's for a creature actor that's in that kind of position, that you just have to, or a super performer, you just have to be really there's a lot of mental challenges going on, and I'm sure that Doug Jones can tell you all about that for as many creatures and characters he's played. So it's a huge mental challenge, not only just knowing your lines, knowing your blocking, all where the camera's at, what the framing's like, all those different things, but like mentally just keeping it all together is a challenge. Mm-hmm.
So, what advice would you give to someone in that position then? Just try to stay positive.
Yeah, stay positive. Don't go dark. Don't go dark. Don't go negative. Just know why you're there and what you're supposed to do, and also know too. The important thing is that you're supposed to be taken care of on set by the makeup department, the special effects makeup department, or prosthetics, or whoever's there. So there's always supposed to be, and thankfully in my experience, my professional experience, there has always been someone always there for me saying like, Kevin, are you getting too hot? You need to take your mask off. You need to take your gloves off. If you need anything, let me know. I'm right here by your side. Even though you may not see me or be able to hear me, like I'm right here. If you need anything, let me know. And just to know that we have that person there for us that's taking care of us is a big deal. Just to know that we're not as my friend Drew had said, we're still a person. Right. We're not a prop, we're not this creature or whatever. We are a person inside that thing. And we need to be taken care of, because we are in a delicate position and we are compromised in a lot of different areas. So yeah. That's what I say. Just make sure that you have good people around you that are taking care of you and watching out for you. Absolutely.
So are you working on anything currently?
I am right now, but I can't really talk about it. But I'm working on a show in New York right now, and
very cool.
So that's going really nicely, and I'll be able to post it, talk about it later on, and whatever. But so thankfully that's going on, and it's been a good time so far, and I get to do some fun things. So
well, congratulations on that, and when more comes out, maybe I'll be back if you're up for it.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
And any plans to do any more of the theater stuff, either or the web series?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that again?
Any plans to ever do any more theater stuff, either musicals or the web series?
Yes. I would love to do more theater. I love theater. I love producing. I love directing. I love show running. I love everything about the theater. I'm a theater actor through and through, and I'm a film actor as well, but theater is where it's intimate magic and entertainment with the audience. It's intimate, and it's finite. It's there and it's gone. There's just something about it. So I would love to do that. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Being here in LA, there are some opportunities here. One place I really love is Zombie Joe's Underground in North Hollywood. That's a great place. They do a lot of fun, like gnarly theater there. But I would love to do it more. Right now in my time, right here, right now, is that doing theater is a commitment. You need to have like weeks for rehearsals and prep, depending if you're directing or acting or producing. And then you have to have like 3 weeks of runs for the show. And so for filming, you don't know if you're going to get the audition or get called tomorrow for something, and then you need to be flying to wherever next week. This is one of those things you have to have a flexibility and availability for. So right now, that's where my priority definitely is that make sure I'm available to go to Timbuktu if I need to next week for a role. So unfortunately, I do want to get back into the theater world, but right now I'm just trying to juggle to see exactly if that's even possible as an actor right now. So, but yeah, my friend Nathan, we're gonna try to get it Shadowbound out and as a feature and do that. We've also talked about doing different, web TV, web series kind of productions and things. So the nice thing about the web series is that it's on YouTube. It's be free. It has a wide audience. It can be really well received, and it's fun. It's fun. It's cheaper than doing other things, like doing a huge feature or something. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So,
well, that's very cool. And where can people follow you to see what you're up to? Not like to your home, but on
Yeah, exactly right. Like here, like I'm like, oh yeah. Let me give you my address. Come by anytime.
You can practice out your creepy smile. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Peering through the gates. Oh, come on in. Yeah, I have a website, kevinkeppy.com, KevinKeppy.com. And of course, I have some social media, Twitter and Instagram at Kevin Keppy. I'm also on Facebook too, but that's my personal page. So for friends, I'll definitely be your friend, but I don't have like a fan page on there. Sure. But definitely Twitter and Instagram is where I definitely post a lot of my stuff. So yeah, and I'll definitely share everything that I have going on. That's for sure.
All right, very cool. Well, this is really fun to talk with you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Neal. Yeah, thanks for having me. And by the way, I love your background here.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I added some colored lights to give me, but yeah, I keep adding more to it. We got a little, I don't know, people send me stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You did mention the creature, not to,
yes.
But Ben Chapman had on the show, played Creature from Black Lagoon on the land scenes.
Oh, nice.
I think 2007. And so he sent that. And another thing he sent though, I kept all of it, but it was his contract, not his original contract, but a copy of the original contract from Creature from the Black Lagoon. And I was like, this is like a really wild thing. But he was a super nice guy, awesome. Ben Chapman.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm sure you get to talk with a lot of really awesome people, Yeah,
and as I get not to be morbid, but as I get older, it's wild to think of the people that's been on that's no longer with us anymore, like Ben Chapman.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I know my friend Jeremy Sellenfriend, who I'm sure you know who Jeremy is.
Yeah. Right? Actually, I've had him on the show a few times, and
So I was just talking with him yesterday, and he said he's a big fan of yours, and he loves your podcast, and loves talking with you and all that stuff. So
oh, cool. Yeah, Jeremy's great. I like him a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he does a lot of good work.
Yeah. So maybe that's got something to New York. I don't know, but I won't say anything. Yeah.